we are going for the analysis of indeterminate type of truss. Okay, and that analysis of indeterminate type of truss will be done by using strain energy method. We are going to apply strain energy method for this. Okay, so just we'll go through basic formulas which are required for the analysis of truss. So this is the formula. F is the force. F equals to P plus X into K. This is the formula. Directly we are getting the formula. So force developed in any member of the truss we can find by this formula. Of course, what is the ultimate goal? We are going to analyze a truss, means we are going to find out the forces in the members of truss. Okay, so F is the force in the member of truss. Okay, and that is to find out this force F in the member of truss. The formula is P plus X into K. So again, what is this P, X and K? Let us come to this part. So X is equals to, we are getting this formula, summation of PKL upon AE divided by summation of K square L upon AE. Okay. So here P is the, we can call this a P forces. For P you can call this a P forces. Okay. So first of all, you have to make the structure, the given truss as a determinate type of truss. Make that truss determinate, then analyze the truss. Analyzing means again we have to find out the forces in members of truss. Again, by any method you can find the forces in the members of truss by joint method or section method. Okay, so this is the P forces. K forces means we have to remove the externally applied force on the truss. Okay, and you have to provide a unit force. You have to provide a unit force to the redundant one. Redundant means unknown. Okay, to which thing we have to consider as unknown, that is dependent upon the SDI of the structure. Okay, so we'll get this part better while considering the example. Okay, L is the length of the member, A area of the cross section of a member. Okay, so now, and E is the modulus of elasticity. Now let us start with one problem. So in this lecture we'll consider one problem regarding your syllabus. So here you are given one indeterminate type of truss. You are given, analyze the following truss by using strain energy method. Okay. Here you are what they are given, assume all the members have same cross section and modulus of elasticity. All the members are having same cross section and modulus of elasticity. Of course, just change is only in the length of the every member. Okay. So first step, you have to find the SDI of the structure. First step, you will find the SDI of the structure. Okay. So just find the SDI. This is the formula for the total SDI. Total SDI equals to M plus R minus 2G. Always, first of all, measure number of joints. Number of joints 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, these are 4 joints. Okay, next, what are the number of members? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So these are total 6 members. What is R? R is the number of unknowns, or you can say number of unknown reactive component. So at A there is a hinge support. For hinge there will exist 2 reactive component, 2. At B there is a roller support. For roller support there exists a single reactive component. So 2 plus 1, that is 3. So we are getting R equal to 3. So just by putting all the values we are getting total SDI equals to 1. So here we are getting a total SDI total SDI equals to 1. Okay. But again, this 1 will be divided into two parts, that is external SDI and internal SDI. So formula for external SDI is number of unknown minus number of equilibrium equation. So here number of unknowns are, that is R, that is equal to 3, R equal to 3, minus equilibrium equation is, we are having 3 equilibrium equation. So 3 minus 3, we are getting external SDI equal to 0. That means again you have to find internal SDI. Internal SDI equals to total SDI minus external SDI. That is 1. Total SDI is, here we have found out total SDI 1 minus external SDI. External SDI we have got here 0. That means the given structure is internally indeterminate by degree 1. Given structure is internally indeterminate by degree 1. Okay. So next step we'll go for the finding out the support reaction. Of course, support reaction can be found out. Just we consider the diagram first of all. Okay, of course, this is a hinge support at A. There exists two react component per roller, single react component. But if you observe the total diagram, there is no any horizontal externally applied load. There is no any horizontal external applied load. What applied load is only perfectly vertical. That's why at hinge support, at A support, there will exist only single react component perfectly vertical. And for roller, of course, this is perfectly perpendicular component, that is single reactor component is existing. So just we have to find reaction RA and reaction RB. Of course, by looking to us only the diagram, you can directly say this must be 30 and this must be 30, because total diagram is symmetric, total truss given is symmetric in geometry, okay, and also symmetric in loading condition. The load applied is perfectly at center, okay. So applied load is 60, so reaction RA and reaction RB must be equal to 30 kilonewton. How to find out that? Just take a moment at A, we'll get reaction RB. Next, apply summation Fy equal to 0, that is another equilibrium equation, we'll get reaction RA. Same thing we are done over here. Same thing we are done over here. We have taken moment at A, that's why we have got the reaction RB 30 kilonewton acting upward direction. Apply summation Fy equal to 0, we are getting again reaction RA as 30 kilonewton. Here I have written RAY. R stands for reaction. Reaction at A support RA. Y stands for perfectly vertical. Of course, for hinge there exist two react components, vertical and horizontal. Y stands for vertical, X stands for horizontal. So horizontal component is 0. Here just there exists RAY. Okay, that is 30 kilonewton. Next step, just we'll find the length of the every member. Length of every member. Of course, you can find the length of every member by just Pythagoras. Here just I have used Pythagoras. Okay, by any way you can find the, by any geometry you can find the length of every member. Okay, so next part we'll go for the finding out the P forces. So this is what P forces. Remember, we are going to analyze a given indeterminate type of truss. To analyze indeterminate type of truss, we have to analyze a given truss twice. The given example you have to solve twice. Okay. Then after, by using F equals to P plus XK. By using that formula, we are getting the total forces in every member. Okay, so remember, for indeterminate type of truss, you have to solve the given truss twice. Okay, first of all, we have to solve for P forces. Next, we have to solve for K forces. Now, what is meant by the P forces? So here we are going to start with the P forces. P forces means just you have to make the given, just you have to make the given truss as a determinate type of truss. Just make the given truss as a determinate type of truss. Okay. So to make this truss as determinate, we have found out the SDI. What we have got the SDI? SDI of the truss is 1, and we have got that the given truss is internally indeterminate. Internally indeterminate means by removing one extra member, we can make the given structure as a determinate. Okay, so this part is more important, which whether you have to move, whether you have to remove the member or whether you have to remove the support. Okay, that is based on the SDI. Here we have got the structure internally indeterminate. That's why by removing one member, that is just here we are removed the member AB. Here we have removed the member AB. Because of removal of member AB, the structure is now becoming determinate type of truss. Okay, so of course now the given truss is now determinate. Okay, now of course determinate truss you can solve easily. There is no problem. To solve determinate type of truss, just will apply the joint method or section method. By any method you can solve this example. Okay, so here while considering P forces, just consider applied load. Just remove one member. Okay, here we are removed the member AB. That's why the structure has become determinate. Now just will find the angle of inclination theta 1 and theta 2. So of course by using tan theta we can get the theta 1 and theta 2. Tan theta 1 will be equals to this front side, the total height, divided by adjacent side. Tan will be front side divided by adjacent side. Okay, so likewise you can get theta 1 and theta 2. Okay, so next, to solve this example, just we'll consider free body diagram. Just we have considered the free body diagram of joint A. Free body diagram of joint A. That means we are going to solve the given example by joint method. By application of joint method, we are going to solve this. Okay. So drawing FBD of joint A means whatever number of members and whatever number of forces meeting at joint A, showing that all the things means we are going to draw free body diagram for joint A. So here at joint A, two members are meeting and single reactive component, vertical reactive component is there, that is RAY. So at joint A, these two members are meeting and then one force is there. Okay, just we are drawn this much part, that is FBD of joint A. Now here first of all assume the given direction of the forces. Assume the given direction of forces. Here we are assumed FAC and FAD both as tensile. Of course, arrows away from a joint. Both arrows here, this arrow and this arrow. Both arrows are away from a joint. Arrow away from a joint means tensile nature. Arrow towards joint means compression nature. Of course, before analyzing, we don't know the exact nature of the any member. Okay, that's why here first of all we are going to assume the nature of the force in the member. Okay, so here in both the member, that is in the member AC as well as member AD, we assume tensile force. We assume tensile, that's why we have shown the arrows away from a joint. So for this joint, now we'll apply two equilibrium equations. Remember, we are applying a joint method. In joint method, you are allowed to apply only two equilibrium equation, that is summation fx equal to 0 and summation fy equal to 0. You are not allowed to use summation of moment equal to 0. Okay, remember you are in a joint method. For joint method, you have to use only for joint method, you have to use only summation fx equal to 0 and summation fy equal to 0. Okay. Can you see the diagram clearly?
Hello, sir.
Hello?
हाँ
Hello?
सर लैमिस थ्योरम यूज कर चालते हैं.
Yeah, you can use also Lamis theorem, but we are going for the summation fx and fy. There is no problem, you can use Lamis theorem also. Lamis theorem is applicable for the if at a joint, if they are meeting, three forces are meeting at a joint. For more than three forces, we can't apply Lamis theorem. Of course, here you can go for Lamis theorem also. Okay, no problem. So here, just we apply summation fx equal to 0. So FAD, just resolve this. Along x direction is going, so positive. Towards right is going, that's why I have written positive. F plus FSC I have written because if you resolve this, this is the x direction. It is also going positive. So FSC. Okay. So from this we are getting this relation. Again apply summation Fy equal to 0. Again apply summation Fy equal to 0. Again we'll get another relation. Just solve these two equations simultaneously, or you are getting this relation, put this first relation in this second equation. We are getting FAD equal to minus 0.7 FAC. Put this value of FAD in this equation. Okay, here we have put minus 70 into FAC. Instead of FAD, we have put this. Okay, by putting this, we have got the value of FAC. Remember, here we are getting minus sign. The answer comes out negative. What it means? Our assumed direction is wrong. So first of all, I have to write over here. So what was the assumed direction? Tensile. I have to write here T. Actually, in this bracket, I have to write here T, capital T. Okay. So here, previously assumed direction was tensile. We are getting minus sign, means our assumed direction is wrong. So previously was assumed tensile. So just make the answer plus. So opposite of minus, there is a plus sign. So opposite of T, there will be a compression. So at what is the actual answer? Final answer, FAC is in compression. This is the final answer. Okay. Now put this value of FAC. Put this value of FAC in this equation. Okay. So we'll get FAD. Okay. We'll get FAD. So again, while putting the value of FAC in this equation, but while finding out FAD, remember we have to put here minus 74.88. Why? Because this diagram we are drawn by assuming FAC and FAD as tensile. We assume FAC and FAD as a tensile. By assuming this, we have got this relation. We have applied fx equal to 0 and fy equal to 0 to this diagram. Okay, so that's why whatever you are getting from this diagram we are getting this relation. From this diagram itself, we are getting first of all answer minus. Okay, so put this value over here. Okay, this part is more important. You have to use this minus. You have to put the value along with the minus sign. Okay, so now we are getting FAD. Next, consider joint B. Likewise, just consider joint B. Again, apply the first we are not required to apply, we are not required to solve the joint B, because if you look towards the total truss, the given truss is totally geometrically symmetric. So A joint and B joint both are symmetric. Okay, so that's why you can directly write the forces over here. Okay, along with the nature. Remember, C compression we are taking negative, and tension we are taking here positive. Why? Because of course the truss is made up of a steel structure, and in steel structure tension is taken as positive and compression is taken as negative. Okay, so next part, again we solve joint C. Again we'll solve joint C. Just draw a free body diagram or joint C and get the forces. Actually just 10 minutes are remaining. So after 10 minutes again the session will over. Okay. So I will complete this example within this 10 minutes itself. Okay. So consider joint C, apply the equilibrium conditions, summation fx equal to 0 and fy equal to 0, and get this final answer. That is, just find out the forces in the member. Okay. So that is part out, that is P forces. Now we are going for K forces. K forces means just remove the external applied load. So if 60 kN was external applied load, just remove that. Next, after removal of external applied force, just consider previously in P forces we have removed member AB. So instead of member AB, add member AB. In the member AB, provide a unit tensile force. Okay, provide a unit tensile force. Okay, so here this 1 kN is away from the joint, 1 kN is away from the joint. That is the arrow away from the joint. It is a tensile force. Okay, so in this redundant member, we have treated AB as redundant, unknown. Okay, in that we have provided a unit force, we have removed external load. Okay, now again we'll analyze a given truss. Analyze means again we'll apply joint method or section method, and we'll find forces in the members of truss. Okay, remember here what we are doing over here, just remove the external force and provide a unit force in the unknown member. Okay, so this is the regarding K forces. Just again apply the equilibrium conditions, draw free body diagram, apply equilibrium conditions, get the forces in the members of truss. Okay, so this is regarding the K forces. So finally we are able to draw this table. Okay, so first of all I will write the number of members, I will write P forces, I will write K forces. Okay, so P forces means, so just for determined truss, we have whatever we have finded the forces in all the members of truss, we will write over here. In the K forces, just we have applied a unit load for the redundant member. Again we will write all the forces over here. Okay, remember we have to solve the given truss twice. Okay, so here I have written minus sign, here I written minus sign. Minus means compression. Where there is a compression, put a minus sign. When there is a tensile, put a positive sign. Okay. Next, there is a length, right length of all the members. Now PKL, find PKL. That is multiplication of these three column PKL. Next, find K square L. square of this K square L. Okay, find out this value. Okay, again find summation of all this, summation of PKL and summation of K square L. Find this. Okay, after completion of this table, we'll go for application of, we will find this X. Okay, that is force coefficient. We will find this X, that is force coefficient, minus summation of PKL upon summation of K square L. This is the formula. Okay, so by using this formula, you can get the value of X, that is the coefficient we are getting. Next, put that value of X over here. So here, instead of S, consider F. Okay, F equals to P plus XK. F equals to P plus XK. You know the P forces. Suppose if I want to find F AC, just consider this as a F. F is force in the member AC. So just consider this table. So P force, we are getting minus 74 and K is 1.64. Okay, so use this formula. F equals to P plus XK. Just write P along with the sign you have to write plus X, you have got this into K. So whatever you are getting, that is 28.65. This is the final answer. We are getting minus. Minus means minus stands for negative. Sorry, minus stands for the compression. Okay, minus means compression, plus means tension. Okay, so if you are getting the answer minus, means this 28.65 is the force acting in the member AC, and that is compression. Okay, so likewise you can get the forces in all the members of truss.